Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Francisco Francois and this is the third part of a series of videos from a flight leaving Miami International to Atlanta Harrisville International. We are ready uh, out right now, cruising at flight level 320 on a heading of 002. Uh, Cruising at Mach 78. We are 150 nautical, about 145 nautical miles away from our top of the sand. So now we are gonna go ahead and set up our aircraft for our arrival procedure. Uh, so we're gonna go ahead and right now we're turning on a heading of 341. So let's go ahead and input heading 341 on the window. And we're gonna go ahead and try to obtain weather information and as well run our performance numbers for uh, go ahead and run performance numbers for our landing, for our descent and landing procedure. So right now we are 140 miles from our top of the sand and probably about 264 miles from our Atlanta International. So let's go ahead and get our weather report. But for that, we're gonna go ahead and bring up our habitat so we can get chart information. So our arrival up will be Atlanta, Kilo Alpha, Tango Lima. We're gonna bring that up. And then the 80s information for arrival will be frequency 119.65. So let's input that on the first officer side, 119.65. 119.65. We're gonna activate it so that it's active, so we can receive it as soon as it come on. If it doesn't come on soon enough, we're just gonna go ahead and Google it or get it from Navigraph as well. We're gonna pull up our arrival chart. Our arrival will be, I forgot what our arrival was, but let's go to our flight plan and it's seat 2 arrival and large transition. So C2 arrival, it's gonna be right here is the last one. And then we're gonna also pull our approach procedure, which I don't know which one is it yet, so uh we're gonna bring it up anyway. So our approach procedure, we're expecting runway 8 right. So since we don't know which runway is active for to land just yet, let's go ahead and pull it from Navigraph. So we can go online and hop into Navigraph and just run some performance chart. So right here we have again we when you are on the Navigraph page, you just go to the right here and then hit performance. And right here we have takeoff performance, so that's not what we need. We need landing performance. Pull it up. We're gonna bring up the aircraft type, which is a Boeing 737-800, and then our landing airport will be Atlanta. So Kilo Tango, sorry, Kilo Alpha Tango Lima, and then it's gonna give us automatically the arrival runway, which will be runway 9 left. So we're gonna approach from runway 9 left. That's gonna be towards the east. So, but let's see, 9 left. Let me bring the airport chart. I think. Uh, let's see. Oh, that's not the airport chart. Airport. There we go. This is the airport chart right here. Okay, so 9 and left. Yeah, we're gonna land on runway 9 and left. That's good. And then let's go and look for our approach. Approach will be runway ILS right and 9 and left. 9 and left. Come on. ILS 9 left. ILS localizer runway 9 and left. Okay, there it is right here. So we're gonna go ahead and grab that, and we're gonna set up our aircraft for the approach. But first, let's compare our arrival to make sure that we have all the waypoints correctly, right? We are approaching at Lars, right? Lars is going to be our approaching waypoint. So we have, let's go to the leg page. We have Larry, Lars, and then we have nephew on Newit right after. Then after that we have Fork, which is right here. And then after that we have Sid at 14,000 or above, and we have Set. And then Ticey at 12,000. And then we have Face Fries right here. And then Short, we have Short, and then Remark, and then that Dactyl. Dactyl is also, let's see, right here. Dactyl is right there. And then we have Stump. Stump is already set as well. We have our complete arrival, right? Waypoints. Each one of them is already inserted. And now we're gonna make sure that we also have our approach procedure set, and each one of the waypoint already set also. But before that, earlier we picked runway 8, uh, 9 right for arrival, but this time we're gonna pick 9 left. So let's go ahead and select runway 9 left, ILS runway 9 left, and our it's gonna be a short approach. So just runway 9 left. Let's make sure there is no discontinuity on there, and we're just gonna select it. So now we should be just fine. Let's verify each one of our waypoints, just to make sure. All right, that's looking good. So after Stumped, we're gonna be intersecting the ILS at Hardy at 4,000, and then Vinny is gonna be where we're gonna intercept the glide slope at 2,700 feet, and then we're gonna fly down to our minimum, and the minimum is going to be 1,359 feet. So let's go ahead and set the approach. So we're gonna go ahead and set our ILS frequency. It's gonna be 119er. Let's look it up right here too. 110.5 is 110.5 for runway 9 left, and inbound course is gonna be 095. That's correct. So we're gonna set the frequency up right here for the ILS. 110.5. 110.5 is in and set. And then on the first officer side, 110.5 as well. 110.5 is set. And that's looking good. Our final approach codes will be 095. So let's set 095 for our final approach codes. So let's go roll this down. 095. Oops, I went too far. 095 final approach course on the captain side, and 095 on the first officer side as well. All right, our minimum descent altitude will be 13,000 feet, and our upper elevation will be 1,026 feet. So let's set 1,026 feet. Here we can set we can only see set 50s fits. So we're just gonna set it to 1,026. So let's set it to 1,000 plain, just 1,000. And then our minimum descent altitude will be 1,359. So let's set this up to 1,359. 1,359. 1,359. Let's roll it down a little bit. There we go. That's gonna be our minimum. And now let's go verify our run some performance for our landing on the runway. So let's go ahead and use the Navigraph performance tool. Like I was saying earlier, landing performance, we have a Boeing 737 landing at Atlanta International, runway 90 left, and our weight is gonna be, let's see what our weight is gonna be. Again, we just gotta compare our actual weight or the weight at approximate weight at our landing airport. For example, The only thing that we burn, or the only weight that we get rid of, is just fuel. So that's why that's the only fuel weight that we take into consideration right now. So right now, for example, let's take. It says that at Atlanta we're gonna have 2.3 uh, kilograms of fuel, and on our flight plan we were supposed to have at Atlanta. We were supposed to have Atlanta is our right here. We were supposed to have uh 3,000, actually 3.0, right? So we're gonna be a little bit below. So we're gonna be 700 and yeah, 700 kilograms less heavy at Atlanta. So from our landing um, weight, we're just gonna subtract 700 kilograms. So 65.5 is our landing weight. So we're just gonna subtract 700 kilograms of that, and that's gonna be 65.8. So 65.8. We're gonna put that in here. 65,800. And the weather information is gonna give it to us automatically. Since we're not receiving the 80s information just yet, we're just gonna grab it from here from the Navigraphic. It actually gives us current weather information. So we hit populate and then calculate, and there we have our performance, landing performance. So we have flaps 30 out of brake 1, and then we have a VREF of 144, and plus 5 is going to be an approach speed of final approach speed of 149. So let's take that, and the input is going to be, let's go to the unit reference page and select flap 30, 150, and our performance said that it was 149. So 150 is just one knot. We're gonna take it, or we can just delete it and choose 149. So let's choose 149. um Actually, let's take the one that the aircraft gives, because to me that's a little bit safer. So flaps 30 and 150 knots. It's gonna be our final approach speed. Final approach speed is already set on the window. Now we'll turn in, or about to turn. So I gotta keep it. I keep my eye on that. So our final approach speed is already set, 150, and we can go ahead and okay. So we're turning on heading 326. So let's bug 326. 326 on the heading. There we go. Approaching Atlanta International. We are 51 nautical miles away from our top of descent, and we are going to be descending on this beautiful sunset into Atlanta Hartsville International. Um, let's verify now our misapproach procedure is gonna be um, misapproach procedure, right? So all the approach. Let's brief the whole approach procedure. So we're gonna intercept the ILS at Hardy, and Hardy is right here. It's gonna be a vector approach after a stump. So a vector approach direct to Hardy, and then Hardy is gonna be at 4,000. 4,000 is set right here, and then we're gonna intercept the ILS at 2,700 at Vini. Vini for the ILS India Hotel Zulu Kilo at 2,700. 2,700, and then it's gonna be a three degree path glide slope. So we're gonna descend at 3 degree down to minimum, and our minimum is 1,359. Um, After the minimum, if we have to go around, then we will have to just climb. The procedure says climb to 4,000 on heading 100, and inbound on Alpha Hotel November VOR. Radio 235 to Coney at 30.2 nautical miles and hold. So we already have the hold right here at 4,000. Let's check it out. Coney Inbound course is gonna be 055, and we're gonna be holding uh, on the southwest of the VOR, southwest of the VOR on the 235, on the 235 course. So that's already said. I like to create a little beam toward from from the actual holding point. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're gonna go. We are about 30 nautical miles from our top of the sand, and then okay. So Coney, our holding point is gonna be Coney, and the VOR will be Alpha Hotel November on the frequency 116.95. So I'm gonna input there 116.95. 116.95 for the VOR. Inbound cost will be 055, and then we're gonna be holding on the 235 course. So yeah, I like to create a waypoint from that VOR just to make sure. Let's see. Let's create a fix from that VOR. The VOR was Alpha Hotel November. So Alpha Hotel November, and then the inbound course was 055. So 055. All right, and there it is. There it is showing up now. So we're gonna be holding. That's gonna be after. If we have to go on a misapproach, all we're gonna have to do is fly straight ahead on heading 100, and then we're gonna continue our climb, left turn, climbing to 4,000 towards the Alpha Hotel November VOR inbound course of 055, and we're gonna hold on the 235 uh, course at 4,000. So minimum sector altitude will be 3,100 feet, so we gotta watch out for that. And we are about 15 nautical miles from our top of the sand. Well, as you notice, guys, um, the throttle the throttle lever just went back. It pulled back because we're gonna start a smooth descent down into Atlanta Hartsville International. We expect to be at sea at or above 14,000 feet. So 14,000 feet set on the altimeter to make sure we don't go below that by the time we get to uh, sea waypoint right here. That's a nice profile. I like to speed up a little bit more on the descent. I find 250 knots a little bit slow, so I'll accelerate just a little bit, so it won't take us that long. I'm gonna set 270 knots so that we can descend just a little quicker. So that's gonna because we're descending a little faster. That's gonna level us up a little bit, and it's gonna basically instead of taking it directly, it's gonna now off, level off for a little bit, and then it's gonna continue its descent a little bit uh, later. So we are now set for the approach. We are going to be arriving to Atlanta a little bit after dark. Let's now check real quick how we're going to exit the runway, which we should have done that before we even started our descent. But anyway, we are arriving at runway 9, and based on the calculation, the runway length is 12,390 feet. 3,390 feet. In the meantime, as we descend, we just gotta keep an eye on the speed. Make sure your speed is not sitting. Like right now, we are at 230. We have it set at 270 knots, and right now we are at 270 knots. So we're holding that speed, and then our altitude is decreasing. We're right now descending at a rate of 2,200 feet per minute. But we are on VNAV and VNAV path, so the autopilot, uh, VNAV and the auto throttle are taking care of our descent for now. So yeah, in the meantime, runway length is 12,390 feet, and based on the calculation, it's gonna take us 8,640 feet to be able to land. That's about 3/4. Easy. Let's see, 12, and then 8. That's about yeah, that's about almost 3/4 of the runway. So we are expected to be exiting the runway probably at Mike 14 or Delta. The farthest we might go will be Mike 16. So that's what we expect. But anyway, once we land, we're gonna try to go down to the concourse or terminal Dixie, because it's not called Delta at Atlanta. At Atlanta, it's because Delta airline main hub is Atlanta. They use the term Dixie for the Delta uh, terminal or taxiways, given there is so many Delta aircraft and core signs um, in that airport. So yeah, we're probably gonna exit at Mike 14, Delta, or Mike 16. So anyway, either way, if we exit at Mike 14, we're just gonna take a left, directly. We're gonna cross through Lima 10 into Delta or Dixie. Sorry, not Dixie. That's gonna be Lima into Lima. So at Lima, we're gonna make a left, and then we're gonna go down to our concourse or terminal Dixie. We are approaching Seat, and Seat at Seat, we're supposed to be at 14,000 or above. We are 7 nautical miles away from there. We're still looking good on our profile. Speed 270, but we are at 268. That's looking normal. Our altimeter setting, I forgot what the altimeter setting was. Let's look it up. It's 3014. So let's set it up. Altimeter 3014. 3014. Let's set it on the window. 3014. Approaching 18,000 feet. Our flight level 180. And let's go ahead and choose standard altimetry. So approaching seat 14,000 or above, but then our next waypoint will be TC, and we have to be there at 12,000. So let's set 12,000, 12,000, 12,000 set, and we are to continue our descent towards TC right after we pass over seat. Seat is going to be on a heading of, sorry, TC will be on a heading of 318. So let's set 318 on the window, 318 on the box. And 318 on the box. Let's listen to that one more time. Okay, well now the 80s is giving us the opposite runway to be able to land, but we are too far in, so and we already planned for runway 9. So for now, we're just gonna stick to runway 9 left. Um, so we might find some tailwind, which is not recommended to land on with tailwind is best. But now we're too close to landing on runway 9, and we were already set for that, so I'm not gonna go ahead and go through all that headache. I'm just gonna go ahead and roll with what SimBrief gave us, and we're gonna roll with those numbers and expect 9 left for our landing procedure. Okay, approaching TC 12,000. Let's just make sure we're gonna make sure that we actually reach TC at 12,000, and then our next altitude will be, and we are a little bit higher on the speed, so let's go ahead and use some speed brake to bring it back down to our speed of 207. So let's bring up some speed brake. There we go. Approaching 10,000, so we're gonna slow down to 250 knots. And we're gonna use some speed brake to slow down. We are turning 276 towards short, heading 276. And we're gonna descend to 6,000. Actually 7,000. Let's slow down, speed 240 knots. And we're below 10,000 feet, so let's go ahead and turn on our landing lights. Can come on. Our engine switch can come to continue. I'm gonna bring some light up here. There we go. We need some light. Pressurization look good. And AC is also looking good. We're gonna go down to 8,000. Then we're gonna go down to 6,000 the airport. Let's see if I can give you that view. There it is. We're gonna be landing on this runway right there, runway 9 left. Right now on a smooth descent to 7,000. We're gonna hold it at 7,000 and slow down to 230 knots. 230 knots. Let's turn on the lights in the back for landing. And also notify the cabin crew that we are about to land, so they are aware.
Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for landing.
There's the airport. We're gonna go ahead and slow down to 300 knots. Sorry, to 210 knots, and we're gonna descend 6,000. So slow down 210 knots and descend 6,000. Starting a slight descend to 6,000, holding up at 210 knots. And the airport is right behind us already. We're still looking good on the approach. Down to 6,000. Let's go down to 5,000. Let's go down to 4,000. Actually, to our, yeah, 4,000. And we're going to turn right to intercept the ILS at Hardy. So 4,000 is set. 4,000. And we're going to go ahead and hit heading select and turn towards Hardy. Hardy will gotta be at 4,000. And then we're gonna capture the ILS at 2,700 feet. 2,700 feet. So let's go ahead and input Hardy, direct Hardy, and we're gonna go ahead and select. Let's also set up our localizer to find our runway, and we're gonna slow down to 180 knots. So let's go down 180 knots. But before that, let's set flaps 1 and then speed 180 knots. We're gonna set our altitude to 27, yeah, 2,700 feet, which is for the glide slope. Altitude 2,700 feet. We still haven't captured the ILS, but we are expecting it. So speed 180. Okay, ILS board lock is already captured, so we're gonna now engage approach mode. Well, not yet. Yeah, we're gonna do it now. Heading 095 and speed. Let's go flaps 5 and speed 170. Speed 170. Slow down. For some reason, the aircraft is not slowing down. That's because we probably have a tailwind. But we're gonna go ahead and drop the landing gear. Uh, that's gonna help us. That should help us with our to slow down. And as we notice, it is actually helping us slow down. Let's bring the our spoilers and let's set flaps 15 and slow down to 160 63 knots. We can go ahead and turn our runway lights on. Can come on, and taxi light also can come on. All right, we are on final. So let's set our flaps to flaps 30. And final approach speed 140. 140. I believe it was 140. No, 150. Final approach speed 150. So speed 150. Let's set the miss approach altitude, which was 4,000. So miss approach altitude 4,000, and we are already on the glide slope, descending smoothly. At about 1,000 feet, we're gonna go ahead and disengage the autopilot, and we're just gonna fly this baby manually for our um landing.
1,000 feet, stabilize, Whiskey Birch altitude
We're
7.
actually 1,000 feet, and let's go ahead and disengage autopilot. Autopilot can come off, and auto throttle can come off also. So we are manual. Let's make sure that we follow the ILS. Pretty good. We need a little speed.
500.
We got three green, three red, and one white. It's the runway is slightly to the left, slightly to the left. Three red, one white. We are at minimum now. Continue. Okay, we got two red and two right, so it's looking good right there. Let's try to hold it there.
200.
200.
100.
All right, that's looking awesome. 100.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
All right. Reversers up. Eighty now check. Reversers back to normal. Spoilers up. And auto brake can go off. We're gonna exit through the left. So the first left that's coming up, which is manual braking now. We're gonna exit at, well, let's take the next left, which is, let's see, Mike 18, Mike 18. So let's go Mike 18. Let's give it some power. And we're gonna taxi to the left. Left side is clear. Right side is also clear. Let's go ahead and turn the flight directors off. Can go off. Our landing lights can go off as well. We're gonna take the first right that's coming up. Weather radar can go off. Terrain radar can go off as well. APU can come on. And we're gonna make a right turn at uh we're gonna make a right turn at Lima 6. Right turn at Lima 6. No, actually we're gonna make a right turn at Juliet and then left turn at Lima. Juliet is the one right hand turn coming up. Let's continue cleaning up the aircraft. Engine switches can come off. APU came available already. I forgot to turn on the seatbelt sign, but anyway, let's continue. Um, our prop heats can go off. And we're gonna make the first right. It's coming up. And then a left into Lima. Let's check the right hand side. Right hand side looks clear. Left hand side straight ahead looks also clear. So this is Lima right here. We're just gonna taxi all the way down until we reach the terminal Delta for the Delta or Dixie 4 spot. Our radar transponder can go to TRA. For now, we already landed, so we don't have to transmit altitude for now. Slow down a little bit. We're going a little fast. Our strobe lights can go off as well because we already turned in. And then Lima 6. We're gonna be taking Lima 6. Alright, this is Lima 5. No, this is Lima 7. So Lima 6 has to be somewhere ahead. The flaps can go up, and Lima 6 is coming up right here. So we're gonna turn right. And our gate will be 4. Gate Dixie 4. We should be the second one, which is right here. It's gonna be this first right hand turn right here on the right. We're gonna turn right. Let's go ahead and turn our runway lights off, and our taxi light can go off as well. All right, we can go ahead and turn on our APU on, set the parking brake on. Parking brake can come on, and APU lid can come on, and we can go ahead and shut down our engines. Engine 1 level cut off, engine 2 also cut off. And let's go ahead and we can turn this Left and right pack off, smoking sign off, seatbelt sign off, emergency light can come on. Oops, there we go. And then window heat off. We can turn the trim air off, and also our IRS can go off. We can also turn off our fuel pumps except the left one until we turn on our ground power, which is available now. So we are on the ground power, so APU can go off, and left fuel pump can go off as well. We are on the ground power, so we are completely set. Wonderful. So we made it, guys, into Los Angeles. We made it, guys, into Los Angeles. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for your support. And stay on the watch for the next video. We're gonna be flying with Watson, ATC, live ATC, receiving instruction from ATC. Um, Air traffic controllers all over the world. So thank you guys for being here. One more time, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and share it with others as well that you know love aviation just like you. So thank you so much for being here, and have a good one.